Hey everybody, soybean farmer here. Well, after I got that disc back together, I came out here and checked this ground, and it was dry enough to get across. So I'm doing what I wanted to with this vertical tillage. Last year, I put soybeans on this farm in 7-inch rows. That means 7 inches between each row. It was tight. I got a lot of beans. It would have been better if I'd had fertilizer and lime in it, but I didn't. Had the best year I've had in 10 years. But year before last, in prepping for the 2017 crop, I was watching a video on how farms work, and he had a $32,000 vertical tillage tool, and it hit me that I could vertical till with this John Deere 28 blade BW disc harrow. So I straightened the gains out on it and went at it, and I really liked how it cut the surface residue up. And things went better in the spring when we were actually preparing the ground for planting. When you got a lot of surface residue, it gets hung up in things and don't turn down, and especially that plow. That plow I bought last year. But from the metal strip over to here, I've got this done, what I want done to it. It cuts the surface residue into smaller pieces, and they don't get hung up in the other disc, and they actually go under. They went under last year in one pass. I'm hoping to see the same thing this year. And I'm right here now. I've made a pass. This was thick right in here. I've made a pass up to the top of the hill. The wettest spot in this field, believe it or not, is on top of that hill. It's always baffled me. I would have thought it would have been a low spot over there. But I was working that. It's about an acre piece at the end of the field down there. It's been out for 2 years. I did an experiment with sweet grazer sorghum on it. That stuff will grow. And if you let it make seed and try to plow it back in, it'll make you another crop. What I wanted was roughage, something, you know, silage, surface residue to cut back in that poor red dirt down there. And I did get a good helping of it. So that ground's pretty hard down there, but this out here, soft, is moist. It's not nearly as wet as what I drove off into last week. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to work this entire field today and see if I can't get it to cut up like you're seeing right here, all over it. I tried a little camera mount on the disc. I think it was shaking so bad. I'll see what I got on the computer. If it's not shaking so bad, I'll splice it into the video. Let you see what the discs are actually doing. The discs are not going in the ground much over 2 inches, but they're doing a fine job of just cutting up the surface residue, and that's the objective. That's what I want to accomplish, is cut that up in smaller pieces. I don't want to disturb the ground deep. That'd be a problem with erosion between now and next May, when it's time to plant. I just want to get this surface residue cut up. So let's see what else happens. I was out there in the field, and I was noticing the temperature running up really high on the Ford 4000. And I got off and looked around there at the side of the radiator where I'd always seen it having, moisture problems, leakage. And it was spewing out. So I made a mad dash back over here to the shop and was thinking, oh well, radiator's got a hole in it. Now I got to figure out how to take that apart. I decided, since it was Saturday afternoon, that I would take a hat that I got at work. It's a Pappy Van Winkle hat, over to my cousin. So I carried it over there, and I had a cup of coffee and a cigar, and we sat there and talked for a while. And I told him, said, guess what? Looks like radiator's got a hole in it in the Ford. He said, you want me to go over there and help you work on it? I said, well, it's your Saturday afternoon, your free time, but if you want to, yeah, come on. So we came over and worked on it. Did some pretty cool troubleshooting. Cousin's got a lot of knowledge about stuff like that. So we found out by pulling the overflow hose off at the top of the radiator that the cap was not holding the 16 pounds of pressure it was supposed to hold. Because we could see it, after we ran the tractor again and got it hot and had it build up pressure, we could see that it was spraying out. So we went and got a radiator cap, Murray, temperature control premium quality radiator cap. And we put it on there. I learned a little bit. I believe the problem solved. I'm delighted. $6. Didn't have to figure out how to take the tractor apart to get the radiator out of it. Made me happy. Well, let's go roll.